Welcome to the Sheikh Hamdan official channel, the home of updates that stir curiosity, ignite emotion, and invite you into worlds hidden behind the curtains of power, loyalty, and love. A golden haze lay over Dubai's skyline, shimmering like a promise of eternity. Within this radiance, the palace grounds glowed with serenity, yet beneath the calm, an unspoken tension stirred. Whispers traveled like desert winds, brushing against marble halls and echoing through chambers where secrets once safely slept. Tonight, the story of a hidden betrayal would rise to the surface like a forgotten flame. Sheikh Hamdan, beloved for his openness, poetry, and vision, had always imagined marriage as a sanctuary, a place where truth needed no defense. His wife, graceful and soft-spoken, had been his closest confidant, the one with whom he shared unfiltered dreams. Yet, somewhere along the journey, a silent distance had begun stretching between them like a widening horizon. Her smile remained warm, but her eyes carried the shadows of unspoken decisions. She moved with practiced calm, but her heart seemed to beat to a rhythm no one else could hear. Court attendants noticed it first, a shift so delicate it could have been mistaken for a passing mood. But day by day, something fragile seemed to fracture quietly beneath the surface. Rumors, always eager travelers, slipped through corridors with restless urgency. Some said she was protecting him from a truth too heavy to bear. Others whispered that she was the one clutching a truth she feared he could never forgive. But no one knew the shape of the secret. It lived behind her careful silence, a mystery wrapped in the velvet of her composure. One late evening, as the moon washed the palace in silver, Hamdan sensed the storm before seeing its clouds. A letter, delicate, handwritten, sealed with trembling hesitation, awaited him on his desk. Its presence felt like a breath held too long. The fragrance of her perfume drifted from it, making the moment feel both intimate and devastating. Inside the envelope lay words that seemed both familiar and foreign. She spoke of masks she had worn to protect him, of truths she feared would wound him, of choices she made while believing she was shielding the fragile peace they had built together. But she also revealed that somewhere along the way, her silence had become a blade cutting deeper than honesty ever could. For a long time, he stood motionless, the paper trembling between his fingers. His mind raced through every shared laugh, every gentle moment, every promise whispered under the soft glow of palace lanterns. Could love truly exist when transparency did not? Could a heart be loyal while hiding a truth that twisted its own pulse? Hamdan's heart did not burn with anger. Instead, it felt the slow ache of a man who questions whether trust had ever rested fully between them. Betrayal, he realized, was not always loud. Sometimes it was a soft echo, a quiet withdrawal, a truth withheld out of fear rather than malice. But pain, no matter how silent, still leaves a mark. The following morning, the palace felt like a stage awaiting its next act. She entered the room with calm resolve, though her hands betrayed a slight tremor. Their eyes met, his steady, hers searching, and the truth settled between them like desert dust before dawn. For the first time, she spoke without rehearsed grace, her voice carrying the weight she had hidden for far too long. Her confession was not a storm but a release, a fragile unraveling of every secret thread she had tucked away. She had feared losing him, feared not meeting the expectations the world had placed upon her. She believed wearing a mask would preserve their harmony, not realizing it would eventually fracture the foundation beneath them both. Hamdan listened, his silence firm but not cold. There was disappointment in his eyes, but not the kind that banishes love. He understood the human heart, how it bends, how it breaks, how it hides out of desperation. Yet understanding did not erase the sting of being kept in the dark. Trust. Dusk draped itself across the palace that evening, painting the sky with strokes of violet and amber. The air felt heavier, as though the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting to see what shape the future would take. She walked through the garden where they had once shared poetry under the stars, each step awakening memories she had tried hard to lock away. The scent of jasmine lingered, stirring her heart into a storm of regret and longing. She wondered if trust, once fractured, could be sculpted anew in the dimming light of their fragile reconciliation. Hamdan stood by the fountain where the water danced like shards of moonlight. His reflection rippled with uncertainty as he wrestled with the battle inside him, the battle between the man who loved her and the leader expected to stand unshakable, untouched by personal wounds. Responsibility had long shaped his life like a tidal force, but today, the weight felt different. This was not a matter of duty but of the silent chambers of his heart, a place no title could protect. He knew forgiveness was not a moment, it was a journey of rebuilding each whispered truth. Their paths converged again beneath the arch of white stone, where lanterns flickered softly, casting halos of gold around their silhouettes. She approached him with the delicate courage of someone ready to face her deepest fears. Her voice trembled as she spoke of the loneliness that had driven her into silence, the pressure of expectations that had shadowed her steps. She had not intended to deceive, she confessed, but the fear of disappointing him had carved a prison she couldn't escape. Her words broke the stillness, carrying a vulnerability that wrapped the night in solemn tenderness. For a moment, Hamdan closed his eyes, letting the waves of her confession settle into the quiet space between them. The truth, though painful, brought clarity he had long been seeking. He realized that betrayal, in her case, was born not out of malice but out of suffocating isolation. Still, wounds do not vanish simply because their origins are understood. He opened his eyes and met her gaze, a gaze filled with remorse, hope, and a plea for another chance. The world often believed love in palaces was shielded from hardship, but here they stood, proving that even royal hearts can falter. She reached out, her fingers brushing against his hand with the gentlest of touches, as though seeking permission to remain in his world. The moment stretched like a fragile thread pulled between two souls fighting to mend what had been strained. He did not pull away. Instead, he allowed her touch to rest upon him, acknowledging the effort she was making to reclaim the trust she feared she had lost forever. It was a small gesture, but it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken promises.